Let me ask you something this morning. When it comes to your family, your friends, when it comes to your children, those of you that have children this morning, how far are you willing to go to protect them? How far are you willing to protect that little girl right back there right now? How far would you go? You'd go to the ends of the earth to protect that baby, wouldn't you? You'd do anything. You'd take on a bear. You'd take on a robber. You'd do whatever it took to protect that little girl. What would you not do for your family? Whether it's your child, your mother, your father, your sons, your daughter, whatever it is. What would you do? To what extent would you go to protect them? How far would you go? Let me tell you what God did. He went so far that He was willing to sacrifice His own Son, Jesus, for us. This is why it is so important that we get this in our heart, because an awesome price was paid. You know, God went to the nth degree to make sure we had exactly what we needed to be able to come and be in His presence and to be known by Him and to know Him. How far would you go? You would do anything to protect your child. God did everything He could possibly do to save you and to bring you into a place where you could know Him. There's several things I want to point out this morning about this specific prayer that Jesus prayed. He said, "Not my will be done, but yours." It's human nature for us to always want our own will to be done, isn't it? And in the first part of that prayer, we can see a little bit of that human nature, because He said, I really don't want to go through this. I want to redeem mankind, but if there's some way I can do it without having to suffer, I'd rather do that. How many of you could agree with that or understand that sentiment? If there's some other way, you'd rather do it. If you're a woman today and you've had a child, if there was some other way you could have done that, not had to go through all that pain and endure that suffering, you would have done it, right? But it's a part of the way we're created. It's part of the way God has fashioned us, and it's all a part of procreation, and it's a part of God's plan. It wasn't originally, but because sin came, that's now a part of God's plan. But how many of you know that when it comes to suffering, if there was some other way you could avoid it, you would? So Jesus was being very honest and very real here. If there's some other way, but He said, nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. Listen. Getting our own way is something that we struggle with every day. Carnal pleasures and giving in to carnal pleasures is a struggle that we all face. It's a driving force in our life, and that driving force is the reason when you go to most prisons today, they're packed full. Most jails and prison facilities are packed. They're trying to find ways to get criminals out quicker because they don't have enough room for the more hardened criminals. So now they're bringing people in that have committed crimes that are not, that are not good things. They've hurt people. They've injured people. They've stolen things from people. But yet, because they don't have enough room, they process them through as quickly as they can and make them serve a little time, and they get them back out because they're packed full. You know why our prisons and our jails are packed full? Because of carnal pleasure. Listen, if sin didn't feel good, people wouldn't be doing it. Right? And the fact is this driving force is what forces people to do things that not necessarily honor God. This driving force also is what destroys marriages. This driving force is what causes people to find themselves in places where they really don't want to be, or in doing things they really don't want to do. Even Paul prayed. He said, those things I don't want to do, I find myself doing. And those things I know I'm supposed to be doing, I find myself not doing it. You know why? Because he was facing and struggling with carnality just like we all are.